Here's my 2 cents review on Rake, the TV show starring Rake Kinnear that premiered in January 2014. They have high expectations for this show. They were promoting it during the football telecast. You know, when Fox believes in a show is when they promote it during the football telecast, because the whole world is watching, or at least most of the world is watching these football games on Fox. And they're also giving it the great lead-in on Thursday night after American Idol. So this is a show that Fox really believes in. Rake Kinnear, he's a solid actor. He's had a very interesting career where he's the master at doing films that are kind of interesting and quirky, and they're not really mainstream, but they are mainstream at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's that he is a master at picking kind of like young, like smaller budget films that seem to be taken off later on. Like he's a solid actor. He seems to know what he's doing. Going back to television for himself is an interesting move, where Rake is about the lovable loser or the anti-hero that we follow, the root for. I don't even know what the tone is so far of the script. Like, he's a very awkward guy, even though he's handsome and the ladies seem to like him. He's very awkward. When he doesn't know what to say, he doesn't bullshit, which is interesting for a criminal lawyer. He just basically pauses and ponders things. This is kind of like a comedy that's an hour long, where I think what's going on is that every week they're going to give us a case that he needs to solve, and he's going to do some, scruples are going to be thrown out the window, and he's going to be doing some shady things. But he's also a guy that has woman issues. He's got a son who's probably a bad role model for. He's a little bit narcissistic, of course. He's got a gambling problem, which is probably the more interesting part of what I feel about Rake is about. So he's just kind of like a bad dude who's also a criminal lawyer, but seems to be taking quirky cases. It could make for they could probably throw in 100 episodes and probably do this show, because Rake Kinnear is that good. I think that a few episodes in, he'll probably find the role that he's designed to play. But right now, I thought it was like, I wish that I understand the tone of like parody and slapstick for an hour drama, but I wish it was a little bit more on the nose in terms of reality. They have this case, for example, that seemed to basically get to the beginning and then have a jury, and then they get to resolution all in it seems like about a week, because there's also a situation where our main character needs to sell a fish that's worth a lot of money in order to pay off his gamblers, but the gamblers want the money like right away. But this case that in realistic terms should have taken about 6 months to do takes about a week to do, which is, I find, kind of offensive in a way, because it's so unrealistic. I understand these courtroom dramas kind of like push the reality a little bit, but that's a little bit crazy. And I almost wish that this interesting story with corruption of the law enforcement officer, with corruption of the mayor, this guy who's probably maybe innocent, maybe guilty. There's a lot of layers in this plot. It could have lasted the whole goddamn season. But I understand what they want to do. They want to bring in supporting characters, a la like The Good Wife, for example, and basically kind of have a new case every single week, which I'm not really a big fan of. But that's just my 2 cents. Here's my 2 cents on Rake.